In March 2020, Call of Duty Warzone dropped into the gaming world like a tactical nuke. The timing couldn't have been more perfect. Just as the pandemic was driving people indoors, Activision dropped this free-to-play battle royale, bringing the Call of Duty franchise's high-octane action to a massive open-world format. Warzone took everything people loved about Modern Warfare and cranked it up to 11. Massive 150-player lobbies, a sprawling map full of diverse locations, and groundbreaking mechanics like the Gulag. Warzone was positioned as a more grounded, realistic answer to games like Fortnite, and it drew in players from all sides: Call of Duty fans, new players, and even hardcore fans of other battle royales. Within months, Warzone was a cultural phenomenon, dominating Twitch streams, YouTube videos, and even making headlines. But as fast as it rose, Warzone began to experience cracks in its foundation that would eventually lead to its decline. Let's dive into what made Warzone an instant classic and what eventually led to its downfall. Let's first talk what made this game a different battle royale. Why was Call of Duty Warzone different than Fortnite or any other battle royales that were very hot at the moment? Well, first things first, we had the Gulag. Warzone's Gulag was a game changer, literally. Players who were eliminated were thrown into a prison and given a chance to fight their way back into the game in a one-on-one deathmatch. This added an extra layer of intensity and gave players a second chance at survival, which was unique to Warzone. The Gulag was so well received that it became a major part of the game's identity, sparking memes, YouTube videos, and even influencing other games. Then, of course, you had the classic loadouts from the older Call of Duty games. Warzone allowed players to call in custom loadouts from pre-built classes. This was revolutionary for a battle royale game where players were usually at the mercy of whatever loot they could find, but for the first time, players could bring their favorite guns and perks into a battle royale, adding a level of personalization and strategy that other games lacked. And what they had was a cache system. Now, Realm Royale kinda had this, but the introduction of a cache as a resource created a new strategic layers to gameplay. Players could not only find or earn cache, which could be spent at buy stations or on items like self-revive kits or armor, UAVs, and most importantly, loadout drops. This cache system encouraged team play and allowed for thrilling combat moments. So basically, these mechanics gave Warzone a unique pace and style. Players could go aggressive, strategic, or a mix of both, and every match felt intense. These elements combined with cross-platform support gave Warzone a massive popularity boost. So everything was going pretty darn good for Warzone, and you think they can only improve, and they did. They improved with seasonal events, in-game events, seasonal updates, whatever else. They had the Haunting of Verdansk, the Nuking of Verdansk. They kind of did the same thing how Fortnite did it, but let's just not say they're copycats. You know, it was a trend, it was a thing. They had to change things up, they had to do live events, whatever. They didn't do it the exact same as Fortnite, they made it a lot different, so I give them that. Very nice, very creative. Keep it like that, but there will always be problems with video games. Despite Warzone's success, cracks started to show. Balancing issues, oh boy. As new weapons and equipment were introduced, balancing issues became increasingly apparent. Each new season introduced weapons that were either overpowered or just quickly outdated, creating a constantly shifting meta. It's insane. If you ever played Warzone in its prime that I'm talking about right now, and you ever used those YouTube videos or apps that told you which weapons were meta, you probably know that changed every time they updated the game. They just made the meta gun fucking shit, and then they buffed one other gun up that was before fucking shit, and then that gun just became stupidly good. It's dumb. Like the DMR-14, the Graf 5.56, and the FFR became infamous for dominating gameplay, with players often feeling forced to use them to stay competitive. Balancing issues made the game frustrating for casual and competitive players alike, who often had to abandon favorite loadouts just to keep up. Cheaters were also starting to show up quite a lot, and that was kind of Warzone's biggest problem. The free-to-play model made it easy for hackers to create multiple accounts. All they really needed was a separate phone number, or I don't know how to do it, but you need a phone number. They probably have some sort of generator, and then you need a hardware ID spoofer, and you are ready to go. Buy yourself a cheat and have fun ruining their matches. It's honestly fucking sad, but it happened a lot. and well, it really wasn't being fixed. Yes, they got banned, but all they had to do was make a new account, and they're back. So you can ban them after every single match, well, they'll just return anyway. So they never really fixed that. Now they are fixing that. They fixed that with Ricochet anti-cheat, but that took them way too long to get there. So yeah, no, that was a horrible position for Warzone. So balancing issues were a problem, cheaters were a problem, but that was not the only misstep that turned fans away. Caldera in December 2021 for Verdansk was replaced by a new map called Caldera, set in the Pacific World War II era environment to align with the launch of Call of Duty Vanguard. While the map's lush jungles, World War II themed points of interest initially intrigued players, it quickly became apparent that Caldera was no Verdansk. Map design issues. Unlike Verdansk, Caldera's layout felt inconsistent. Rocks, and just a shit ton of fucking rocks. This was dumb. I hated this map. This was actually also the reason why I quit. All I played on was Rebirth, the World War II weapons. The Vanguard World War II weapons into Warzone didn't sit well with many players, neither with me, who felt that lacked the realism and polish of Modern Warfare's arsenal. It was horrible. It was Modern Warfare, not fucking World War II. You could have done a separate game mode, but this is just shit. And we've never seen Verdansk again, never. So Warzone had to make a comeback. How did they do that? They waited 11 fucking months off before they realized that the map wasn't doing that well. In November 2020, Activision launched Warzone 2.0 alongside Modern Warfare 2, which also didn't do that well. Hoping to recapture the excitement of the original Warzone, Warzone 2.0 introduced new maps like Aasra. Okay, alright, we're getting it back into a map. Aasra brought players back to the Middle Eastern setting, just like Verdansk. Yo! Hold on, we might be back here. Aasra was preferred over Caldera by pretty much anyone. I mean, who the fuck liked this map, let's be honest. But the novelty wore off quickly for many players, because people wanted more drastic changes, because now we just got Verdansk 2.0. Nobody asked for this. Now of course, Warzone didn't just drop. They didn't just drop to Warzone 2.0 like, hey, here's a new Warzone. No, of course, they hyped it up a little, and they hyped it up pretty goddamn good, because what they did is they hyped up Warzone 2, said that it would launch alongside with Modern Warfare 2, two big games, one pile action, have some fun, and what hyped it even up more is that Modern Warfare 2 was gonna get consistent updates for 2 years straight, which hyped many people up because they thought we can have a Call of Duty game for 2 years straight with consistent updates, and of course Warzone 2.0 and your Modern Warfare 2 progress are combined, which means that you can have multiple game modes, kind of like Black Ops Zombies and Black Ops multiplayer combined. It was amazing. This was hype, this was great, and they bringing back a new map, kind of like Verdansk, a bit too much like Verdansk, but whatever, nice. This might have made a comeback. No. They fuck it up with a double gulag. I actually kind of like the double gulag. Many people thought it was nice and interesting, but just to call it Warzone 2.0 and then make it like catchy to make a double gulag, it's kind of stupid if you ask me. They actually removed it later on. It's not even in the game anymore because they all knew that it just sucked. It sucked. It's not even called Warzone 2.0 anymore. It's just called Warzone now. Honestly, I'm actually getting quite the headache. This is pretty fucking confusing for me either. I'm not really sure what this game is even called at this point. We go from Warzone to Warzone Pacific? Then we get to Warzone 2.0, and then we go back to Warzone. But it's not Warzone, because it's kind of Warzone 3.0, because it's now Modern Warfare 3. Yeah, I'm just as confused as you. Let's see if they do better with Black Ops 6.